Hey guys, tonight we're slipping into the cool, shadowy embrace of an 18th century Iroquois village just as the sun dips below the horizon. Picture yourself standing on a soft dirt path, the air thick with the scent of pine and wood smoke. Longhouses stretch out like giant bark-covered caterpillars, their curved roofs blending into the twilight. A faint hum of voices drifts from within, mingling with the chirp of crickets and the rustle of leaves. You're about to discover the forgotten bedtime rituals of the Iroquois, a people whose nightly routines were as rhythmic as the seasons. Fair warning, you probably wouldn't survive a single night without their knack for cozying up in a smoky longhouse. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop a comment with your location and local time. I love knowing where you're drifting off from. Now, let's step into this village and feel the evening unfold. You're here in the heart of Haudenosaunee territory, what we now call upstate New York, around the 1750s. The Iroquois Confederacy, Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, Seneca, and later Tuscarora, is a powerhouse of diplomacy and tradition. As night creeps in, the village doesn't just shut down, it transforms. The day's bustle of planting corn, crafting baskets, or debating in council fades into a slower, softer cadence. You notice the glow of fires flickering through the longhouse doorways, casting dancing shadows on the elm bark walls. Each longhouse, maybe 100 feet long, houses several families, and tonight, they're all winding down together. You step closer, your moccasins, let's pretend you've got some, padding silently on the earth. The air cools, and you pull your deerskin cloak tighter. The village is alive but hushed. Women stir pots of corn soup over the hearths, the steam rising like a gentle fog. Men carve arrowheads or mend nets, their hands moving with practiced ease. Children dart between the longhouses, chasing the last moments of play before bedtime calls. You catch the faint scent of sage burning somewhere, a ritual to cleanse the space for the night. It's not chaotic, it's orchestrated, like a slow dance everyone knows the steps to. You're struck by how communal it all feels. No one's rushing off to a private bedroom. Privacy, as you know it, isn't a thing here. You're sleeping in a shared space surrounded by the snores and whispers of your kin. As you linger, you realize the Iroquois don't just go to bed. Their bedtime is a tapestry of rituals, woven from practical chores, spiritual practices, and social bonds. The evening's first task is setting the mood, and that starts with the longhouse itself. You duck inside one, the doorway low enough to make you stoop. The interior is warm, smoky, and surprisingly spacious. Rows of raised platforms line the walls, covered with furs and woven mats. These are the beds, shared by families, and they're already being prepped for the night. You watch a woman shake out a bearskin, fluffing it with care, while her daughter sweeps the platform with a bundle of twigs. It's methodical, almost meditative, and you can't help but feel the calm settling over you. Outside, the sky deepens to indigo, and the village's rhythm shifts. You hear a soft drumbeat, not loud enough to startle, just enough to signal the transition from day to night. Somewhere, an elder's voice rises, chanting thanks to the Creator for the day's blessings. You don't understand the words, but the tone wraps around you like a blanket. This isn't just about sleep. It's about preparing body and spirit for the dream world, a place the Iroquois hold sacred. Dreams aren't random here. They're messages. Guidance from ancestors or spirits. As you stand in the longhouse's glow, you feel the weight of that belief, the sense that tonight's rest is more than just closing your eyes. You're starting to get why these rituals matter. They're not just about comfort, they're about connection, to family, to nature, to the unseen. The village is a living organism, and you're part of it, at least for tonight. As you watch the firelight flicker, you realize the first true ritual is simply this: gathering together, letting the day's edges soften, and stepping into the night as one. You're still standing in the warm, smoky longhouse, the firelight casting a soft glow over the elm bark walls. The evening has fully settled now, and the village outside is quieter, the last of the children's laughter fading into the forest. Your attention shifts to the heart of the longhouse, where a woman tends the central hearth. She's the firekeeper, a role as vital as any in the Iroquois village, and tonight her gentle duties set the rhythm for everyone's sleep. You watch her move with a calm purpose, her hands steady as she feeds the fire just enough to keep it alive through the night. It's not a roaring blaze. Too much heat would make the longhouse unbearable, but a steady, low burn that hums with warmth. You can feel the comfort of it seeping into your bones. The firekeeper's job isn't just practical, it's sacred. Fire is life in the Iroquois world, a gift from the creator that ties a village to the cosmos. You notice how she arranges the logs with care, almost like an artist shaping clay. She uses hardwood, oak or maple, you guess, because it burns slow and steady, perfect for the long hours of sleep ahead. The smoke curls upward, escaping through the hole in the roof, and you catch a whiff of its earthy scent. It's not unpleasant, it's grounding, like the village itself is breathing with you. You realize that without her the longhouse would grow cold, the darkness too heavy. She's the unsung hero of the night, ensuring everyone rests in comfort. You step closer, noticing the tools she uses. A long stick to poke the embers, a small clay pot of ashes to bank the fire. She sprinkles a handful of herbs, maybe cedar or sage, into the flames, and a faint, sweet aroma fills the air. This isn't just about warmth. It's a cleansing ritual, purifying the space for sleep. You hear her murmur something, a soft prayer or thanks, too quiet to catch the words. It's not for show, it's habit, woven into her movements. You're struck by how every action feels deliberate, like she's coaxing the fire to partner with the village's dreams.
As you watch others in the longhouse take their cues from her, a man nearby sets aside his carving knife, his work done for the day. A grandmother hums as she folds a blanket. The firekeeper's steady presence is like a metronome, signaling that it's time to slow down. You feel it too, the urge to settle, to let the day slip away. You imagine yourself sitting cross-legged on a woven mat, the fire's warmth brushing your face. It's easy to see why this ritual matters. The fire isn't just heat, it's the heartbeat of the longhouse, tying everyone together as night deepens. You notice the firekeeper glance at the smoke hole above, checking the stars. She's not just tending the fire, she's reading the night, ensuring the village stays in harmony with it. If the wind shifts, she'll adjust the logs to keep the smoke from pooling inside. If the fire burns too low, she'll add a stick, but never too much. It's a balancing act, and you're impressed by her quiet expertise. You probably wouldn't survive a night trying to keep this fire just right. Too much smoke and you'd choke, too little and you'd freeze. She makes it look effortless, her hands moving with the ease of someone who's done this for years. The firekeeper's work also sets the stage for what comes next. As the flames settle into a steady glow, the longhouse grows quieter. You hear the soft shuffle of feet as people move to their sleeping platforms. The fire's light dances on the walls, casting shadows that seem to tell their own stories. You realize this ritual is more than practical. It's a signal, a gentle nudge that the village is ready to cross into the dream world. The firekeeper doesn't just keep the hearth alive, she keeps the night alive, guiding everyone toward rest with her steady, soothing presence. You linger by the hearth, feeling the warmth on your skin, the faint crackle of the fire in your ears. It's hypnotic, almost meditative, and you understand why the Iroquois trusted this task to someone so skilled. The firekeeper's work is the first step in a chain of rituals, each one building on the last, pulling the village closer to sleep. For now, you're content to watch her, letting the fire's glow and her quiet movements lull you into the moment. You're still in the longhouse, the firekeeper's steady glow casting a warm light across the bark walls. The air is thick with the scent of wood smoke and cedar, and the village outside has hushed to a whisper. Now, as the fire settles, another ritual begins to unfold. You hear a low melodic voice rising from the far end of the longhouse. An elder, her tone soft but commanding, begins to weave a story. This is the heart of Iroquois bedtime, storytelling by the embers, where tales of ancestors, spirits, and creation lull the village into a shared dreamlike calm. You pull your deerskin blanket closer and settle on a woven mat, ready to listen. The elder's voice is like a gentle current, pulling you into a world of oral tradition. She's not just entertaining, she's passing down the soul of the Haudenosaunee. Tonight, she tells of the Sky Woman, who fell from the heavens to create the world on Turtle's back.
You imagine the stars above as she describes them, each word painting a picture so vivid you can almost see the great turtle swimming in the cosmic sea. Her pauses are deliberate, letting the crackle of the fire fill the silence, giving you time to sink deeper into the story. It's not rushed. Nothing here is. The Iroquois don't tell stories to excite. They tell them to soothe, to connect you to something larger than yourself. You notice the others around you, their faces soft in the firelight. Children nestle against their mothers, eyes heavy but fixed on the elder. Even the adults, weary from the day's work, lean in, their breathing slowing. The story isn't just for the young, it's for everyone, a reminder of who they are. The elder's tale shifts to the three sisters, corn, beans, and squash, describing how they grew together, sustaining the people. You can almost smell the cornfields, feel the earth under your fingers. Her words are simple, but rich, each one chosen to evoke the senses without startling anyone awake. You're struck by how the story feels like a lullaby, its rhythm rocking the longhouse towards sleep. Storytelling here isn't random. The tales are chosen carefully, often tied to the season or the night's mood. Tonight, with the air cool and the harvest months behind, the elder picks stories of creation and gratitude, grounding everyone in the cycle of life. You learn that these stories aren't just myths, they're lessons, teaching respect for the land, the spirits, and each other. The elder might pause to explain a detail, how Sky Woman's daughter gave life to the crops, and you feel the weight of that knowledge, passed down through countless nights like this one. It's a ritual that binds the village, making the longhouse feel like one big family. You try to imagine telling a story like this yourself, and you realize you probably wouldn't survive the pressure. The elder's voice carries authority, earned through years of listening and learning. She knows how to pace her words, when to lower her tone to a whisper, when to let the fire's crackle take over. You notice her hands moving slightly, tracing shapes in the air, as if drawing the story for those who might drift off. It's mesmerizing, and you feel your own eyelids growing heavy. The longhouse is warm, the air soft with smoke, and the elder's voice is a thread pulling you toward dreams. As the story winds down, she speaks of the animals who help Sky Woman: beaver, muskrat, and turtle, each playing their part in creation. You picture them in the forest outside, their presence woven into the village's nightly calm. The elder's voice slows, her words spaced further apart, and you realize she's guiding everyone toward sleep. The children are already dozing, their heads on their mother's laps. Even the fire seems to burn quieter, as if it knows its part in this ritual. You feel the longhouse settling, the energy shifting from wakefulness to rest. The storytelling doesn't end abruptly. It fades, like the embers themselves. The elder murmurs a final thanks to the spirits, her voice barely above a whisper now. You catch a few words: gratitude for the day, hope for good dreams, and then she falls silent. The longhouse is still, save for the fire's soft pops and the distant hoot of an owl. You realize this ritual isn't just about the stories. It's about creating a space where sleep feels safe, sacred even. As you sit there, wrapped in your blanket, you feel the weight of the day lifting, the elder's words lingering like a gentle echo in your mind. You're still nestled in the longhouse, the elder's storytelling fading into a soft hum that lingers in the smoky air. The firekeeper's glow keeps the chill at bay, and the village outside is now a quiet chorus of crickets and rustling leaves. As the stories settle, you notice a new ritual unfolding: the preparation of the sleeping space. Families around you begin to arrange their corn husk mats and furs on the raised platforms lining the longhouse walls. You're drawn to one family nearby, a mother and her two children, their movements slow and practiced, turning the simple act of making a bed into something almost ceremonial. You decide to join in, imagining yourself setting up your own spot for the night. The platforms, built from sturdy poles and covered with woven mats, are about knee-high off the dirt floor. You watch the mother shake out a thick bear skin, its dark fur catching the firelight. She spreads it carefully, smoothing out every wrinkle, then layers it with a lighter deerskin for softness. You mimic her, grabbing a corn husk mat from a stack near the wall. It's surprisingly springy, woven tight from dried husks, and you lay it down on an empty platform. The husks crinkle faintly as you press them flat, a sound that's oddly soothing, like dry leaves underfoot. You realize this isn't just about comfort. It's about creating a space that feels safe, personal, even in the shared longhouse. You notice the mother showing her daughter how to fold a blanket, just so, tucking it at the edges to keep out drafts. The boy, maybe 7, drags a small fur to his spot, mimicking his mother's care. It's a family affair, and you sense the pride in getting it right. The Iroquois don't have private bedrooms, so this platform is their sanctuary, a place to dream under the same roof as their kin. You try to imagine sleeping so close to others, the snores and rustles blending into a communal lullaby. You probably wouldn't survive a night without your modern obsession with silence and space. But here, it feels natural, even comforting. As you work, you catch the faint scent of cedar from the platform's frame, a wood chosen for its durability and subtle aroma. Some families sprinkle dried herbs, maybe sage or sweetgrass, onto their mats, a small ritual to ward off bad dreams or insects. You try it, crushing a pinch of sweetgrass between your fingers and scattering it over your mat. The scent is fresh, almost minty, and it mixes with the wood smoke, making the air feel cleaner, lighter. You learn from a nearby woman that these herbs aren't just practical, they're spiritual, a way to invite good spirits into the night. You sprinkle a bit more, feeling like you're part of something ancient.
The process is slow, deliberate, and you're struck by how it calms the longhouse. No one's rushing. There's no race to finish and collapse into bed. Instead, every fold of a blanket, every adjustment of a mat, is a step toward rest. You notice an older man nearby, his hands gnarled from years of work, carefully arranging a woven blanket with a pattern of stars. He murmurs something to his wife, and they share a quiet laugh, their ease making the task feel like a conversation. You try folding your own blanket, copying their neat tucks, but your corners are sloppy. It's harder than it looks, and you smile at your own clumsiness. As you finish, you step back to admire your platform. It's simple: mat, furs, a rolled-up hide for a pillow, but it feels inviting, like a nest. You notice others doing the same, some adding small touches. A child tucks a carved wooden bird under her blanket, a talisman for good dreams. The longhouse is a patchwork of these personal spaces, each platform a little world within the larger one. You lie down on your mat, testing it, and the corn husks shift slightly under your weight, cradling you. The fire's warmth reaches you, and the distant sound of someone humming feels like a final note in this bedtime ritual. You realize this preparation isn't just practical, it's a way to signal the body and mind that sleep is coming. The act of arranging the space, of touching the furs and herbs, grounds you in the moment. The longhouse feels alive, its occupants moving in sync, each family's routine weaving into the next. As you settle onto your platform, you feel the village's rhythm slowing, the air growing heavier, with the promise of rest. The mats are ready, the furs are warm, and you're one step closer to the dream world the Iroquois hold so dear. You're lying on your corn husk mat in the longhouse, the furs beneath you soft and warm, the faint scent of sweetgrass still lingering. The firekeeper's hearth glows steadily, and the longhouse is a cocoon of quiet rustles and low murmurs as families settle onto their platforms. Your eyes drift upward, and you notice something swaying gently above your sleeping space. A delicate web of sinew and feathers, catching the firelight. This is a dreamcatcher, an Iroquois tradition woven into the fabric of their bedtime rituals. You sit up slightly, curious, as you realize these intricate creations are more than decoration.
They're guardians of sleep, guiding you through the sacred world of dreams. You study the dreamcatcher, its circular frame, made from a bent willow branch, no bigger than your hand. The web inside is spun from deer sinew, knotted in a pattern that looks like a spider's delicate work. A few beads, carved bone or polished river stones, are threaded into the strands, glinting softly. Feathers dangle from the bottom, maybe from an owl or hawk, stirring in the faint draft from the smoke hole. You learn from a nearby woman, her voice a whisper, that each dreamcatcher is unique, crafted with care by someone in the family. Hers was made by her grandmother, she says, to protect her dreams when she was a child. You feel the weight of that history, the love woven into every knot. The Iroquois believe dreams are powerful, a bridge to the spirit world where ancestors and guides speak. But not all dreams are good. Some carry warnings or mischief from restless spirits. You're told the dreamcatcher's web traps bad dreams, letting only the good ones slip through, like water through a sieve. The feathers, she explains, carry the good dreams down to you, soft as a whisper. You imagine lying beneath it, the night's visions filtered by this sacred net, and it feels oddly comforting, like a promise of safety. You probably wouldn't survive a night wrestling with unfiltered Iroquois dreams, full of omens and spirits, but the dreamcatchers got your back. You notice other dreamcatchers above nearby platforms, each one different. A child's has bright red beads, maybe dyed with sumac, while an elder's is plain, its sinew yellowed with age. Some have shells woven in, their faint clinks blending with the fire's crackle. You learn that making a dreamcatcher is a ritual itself, often done during quiet evenings.
As you lie back, the dreamcatcher sways above you, its feathers trembling in the warm air. You wonder about the dreams it's caught, the nightmares it's snared. The Iroquois take dreams seriously, often sharing them at dawn to unravel their meanings. A dream of a bear might mean strength. A dream of water might warn of change. You feel a flicker of curiosity about what you dreamed tonight under this web. The longhouse's rhythm, slow breaths, soft shifts on mats, makes it easy to imagine drifting off, the dreamcatcher watching over you. You notice the mother from earlier tucking her children in, pointing to their dreamcatcher and whispering something. The boy nods sleepily, clutching a feather he's pulled from his blanket. It's a teaching moment, you realize, passing down the belief that sleep is sacred, protected. You feel the longhouse's communal spirit again, how even dreams are shared, guarded by these webs above every platform. The firelight dances across the dreamcatcher's strands, and you can't help but stare, mesmerized by its quiet beauty. The woman nearby tells you one last thing. When a dreamcatcher grows old, its web heavy with caught dreams, it's burned in a small ceremony. Its ashes return to the earth. A new one takes its place, fresh for the next season of sleep. You love that cycle, the idea that even a dreamcatcher has a life, a purpose renewed. As you settle back onto your mat, the longhouse feels softer, safer. The dreamcatcher a silent sentinel. The fire's glow dims slightly, and you hear the faint creak of the willow frame above you, a final note in this gentle ritual. You let your eyes close,
the dreamcatcher's image lingering in your mind. Its web, its feathers, its quiet promise. They're all part of the Iroquois way, preparing you for a night where dreams aren't just rest, but a journey. The longhouse breathes around you, and you feel ready to cross that bridge, guided by the delicate guard above.
You're nestled on your cornhusk mat, the dreamcatcher swaying gently above, its feathers catching the firelight's glow. The longhouse is a warm, smoky haven, the air heavy with the scent of cedar and the soft rhythm of breathing from those around you. The storytelling is faded, the sleeping platforms are ready, and now a new ritual begins to unfold under the deepening night. You hear a low, rhythmic chant drifting from the far end of the village, where a small group gathers outside under the moon's pale light. These are the moonlit ceremonial chants, a soothing tradition that eases the Iroquois into slumber, and you feel drawn to their gentle cadence. You slip outside, your moccasins silent on the cool earth, and join the small circle near a clearing. The moon hangs low, its silver light filtering through the pines, casting long shadows. A woman leads the chant, her voice soft but clear, rising and falling like a slow wave. She's not alone, others join in, their voices blending into a harmony that feels ancient, unbroken. The words are in a language you don't understand, likely Mohawk or Seneca, but their tone wraps around you, calming, like a lullaby sung by the forest itself. You stand at the edge, feeling the night air on your face, the chant pulling you into its rhythm. The chants are offerings, you learn, giving thanks to the Creator and the spirits for the day's blessings. They're not loud or showy. Nothing here is meant to jolt you awake. Instead, they're deliberate, each syllable measured to soothe the soul. The leader sings of the moon, its light guiding the people, and of the stars, each one a story in the sky. You notice how the others sway slightly, their eyes half closed, as if the chant is a bridge between waking and dreaming. You try to mimic them, letting your shoulders relax, your breath sync with the melody. It's harder than it looks. You probably wouldn't survive leading a chant without stumbling over the words, but listening feels effortless. You glance around and see the village bathed in moonlight, the longhouses dark silhouettes against the trees. The chant carries a story, you realize, not unlike the elders' tales inside. It speaks of the Great Spirit, of the earth's heartbeat, of the unity of the Haudenosaunee. You catch a line about the three sisters, their seeds sleeping in the soil, waiting for spring. The imagery is vivid yet gentle, painting a world where everything, people, plants, stars, is connected. You feel that connection now, standing in this circle, the cool night air mixing with the warmth of the chant. The leader pauses, and someone tosses a handful of sage into a small fire at the circle's center. The smoke rises, curling toward the moon, and the scent is sharp, cleansing. You're told this is part of the ritual. Smoke carries prayers upward, a link between the village and the spirits. You breathe it in, feeling it clear your mind, like the longhouse's air but wilder, freer. The chant resumes, softer now, as if the singers know the village is ready to sleep. You notice a few people slipping back to their longhouses, their steps slow, their faces calm. The ritual isn't mandatory, but it's sacred, a way to honor the night before surrendering to it. You stay a little longer, letting the chant wash over you. The leader's voice dips lower, almost a whisper, and the others follow, their harmony fading into the night. It's not abrupt. It's a slow unraveling, like a thread being gently pulled. You imagine lying back on your mat, the chant's echo lingering in your ears, guiding you toward dreams. The Iroquois believe the moon watches over sleepers, its light a protector, and this ritual feels like a conversation with it. You feel safe, grounded, even out here in the open,
As the group disperses, you head back to the longhouse, the chant still humming in your mind. The village is quieter now. The fires glow dimmer through the doorways. You slip inside, finding your platform, and settle onto your furs. The dreamcatcher above sways slightly, as if stirred by the chant's lingering energy. You realize this ritual isn't just about sound. It's about preparing the spirit, aligning the village with the night's peace. The moon's light filters through the smoke hole, and you feel the longhouse settle, ready for the dreams to come.
You're back on your cornhusk mat in the longhouse, the echo of the moonlit chant still humming faintly in your ears. The firekeeper's hearth casts a soft glow, and the air is warm with the scent of wood smoke and sweetgrass from your sleeping space. The village outside is hushed, the moon's light spilling through the smoke hole above. As the longhouse settles, you notice a new ritual unfolding, the preparation of herbal teas, a calming bedtime practice that soothes the Iroquois into rest. You see a woman nearby, her hands steady as she pours steaming liquid from a clay pot into small wooden cups. The scent is earthy, inviting, and you're curious to learn more about this gentle tradition. You sit up, watching as she hands a cup to her husband, who sips it slowly, his shoulders relaxing. She offers you one and you take it, feeling the warmth through the smooth wood. The tea is made from local plants, maybe sumac or mint, you're not sure, but it's light, slightly sweet, with a hint of forest in every sip. You learn from her quiet explanation that these teas are a nightly ritual, brewed to calm the body and mind before sleep. Each family has its own recipe, passed down like stories, using plants gathered from the surrounding woods. You take another sip, letting the warmth spread through you, and it feels like a hug from the earth itself. The woman tells you about the plants they use: cedar tips for clarity, wild mint for digestion, or sassafras for a soothing glow. You picture her earlier today, walking the forest paths, basket in hand, picking leaves under the dappled sunlight. She explains how the Iroquois choose plants not just for taste, but for their spiritual properties, believing they carry the earth's blessings. You're struck by the care in her movements as she stirs the pot, adding a pinch of dried leaves to keep the brew just right. You probably wouldn't survive foraging for these plants without poisoning yourself, but her expertise makes it look effortless, like she's speaking the forest's language. You notice others in the longhouse sipping their own teas, some from clay cups, others from carved horn. A grandmother shares hers with a child, who grimaces at the bitter edge but drinks anyway, earning a soft laugh. The ritual is communal yet personal. Each family brews their own, but the act ties the longhouse together. You learn that the teas aren't just for sleep, they're medicine, easing aches from the day's work or calming restless thoughts. The Iroquois see the body and spirit as one, and this tea is a bridge to both, preparing you for the dream world they hold so dear. As you sip, you feel the longhouse's rhythm slow even further. The fires crackle, the faint clink of cups, the low murmurs of conversation. It all blends into a soothing hum. You imagine the plants in your tea, rooted in the same soil as the village, their leaves plucked under the same moon, now watching through the smoke hole. It's a cycle, you realize, connecting you to the land in a way that feels ancient, unbroken. The woman refills your cup, and you notice her hands are stained slightly green, evidence of her day spent with the plants. You thank her and she smiles, her eyes heavy with the promise of sleep. The tea's warmth spreads through your chest, loosening the day's tension. You learn that some teas are brewed stronger for those who struggle to rest, like warriors back from a hunt, their minds still racing. Others are lighter, for children or elders, meant to cradle rather than sedate. You're fascinated by the balance, how the Iroquois tailor this ritual to each person's needs. You try to imagine brewing your own, but the thought of picking the wrong leaves makes you chuckle. You'd likely end up with a cup of grass. The woman catches your smile and nods, as if she knows the forest's secrets are hard-won. As you finish your tea, you set the cup down, feeling the mat beneath you shift slightly. The longhouse is quieter now, the fire a steady glow, the air thick with the mingled scents of herbs and smoke. You realize this ritual is more than a drink. It's a moment of pause, a way to honor the day before letting it go. The tea's warmth lingers in your hands, your body,
and you feel ready to sink deeper into the night, the dreamcatcher above, waiting to guide your dreams.
You're settled back on your cornhusk mat, the warmth of the herbal tea still lingering in your chest, its earthy aftertaste a quiet reminder of the forest outside. The longhouse glows softly, under the firekeeper's care, the air thick with wood smoke and the faint sweetness of cedar. The dreamcatcher above sways in the draught, and the village beyond the bark walls is a hush of moonlight and crickets. Now, as the tea's calm spreads, you notice a new ritual unfolding, the bedtime routines of the children, guided by their elders with a tenderness that feels like its own kind of lullaby. You watch a family nearby, their movements gentle, as they teach the young ones how to ease into sleep. A mother sits cross-legged on a platform, her two children, a girl, about 9, and a boy, maybe 5, nestled close. She's braiding the girl's hair, her fingers deftly weaving the strands into a tight plait for the night. You learn this is practical, keeping hair tidy prevents tangles, but also soothing. The rhythmic pull of her hands lulling the girl into a drowsy calm. The boy, meanwhile, fidgets with a small wooden toy, a carved turtle, until his mother gently takes it, setting it beside his fur blanket. She murmurs something, her voice low, and he nods, yawning. You're struck by how these small acts are lessons, teaching the children to slow down, to embrace the night. You lean closer, curious, and catch the mother singing softly, a short repetitive tune about the moon and the stars. It's not loud, just enough to fill the space between them, and the girl hums along, her eyes half closed. You realize this is part of the ritual, songs and stories tailored for children, wrapping them in comfort. The Iroquois believe children's dreams are especially sacred, carrying messages from spirits. So bedtime is a time to nurture their spirits as much as their bodies. You try to imagine singing a lullaby like that, but you'd probably forget the words halfway through. You wouldn't survive the pressure of those sleepy, trusting eyes. The mother finishes the braid and ties it with a strip of dyed leather, then hands the girl a small cup of water. Not tea, too strong for a child. The boy gets one too, sipping messily, a drop trickling down his chin. She wipes it with her sleeve, smiling, and you feel the warmth of their bond. How these rituals are as much about love as tradition. She tucks them under their furs, arranging the blankets with care, and whispers something about good dreams. The girl clutches a tiny beaded pouch, maybe a charm, and you remember the dreamcatcher above, its web guarding their sleep. You notice other children in the longhouse following similar routines. Across the way, a grandfather shows his grandson how to fold a blanket just so, their hands moving together. The boy mimics him, proud when he gets it right, and the old man chuckles, his voice a gravelly whisper. Another child, barely toddling, is rocked gently by an older sister, her arms steady despite her own yawns. You're struck by how the whole longhouse shares this task. Elders, parents, siblings, all weaving a net of care around the youngest. It's communal, like everything here, and you feel the strength of that unity, how it cradles the children into rest.
Especially levels how trains there allows times in the mastery in their first era Nico.
The mother near you now tells her children a brief story, not as long as the elders' tales, but just as vivid. It's about a rabbit who tricked the moon into shining brighter. And the boy giggles, his eyes drooping. You love the playfulness, how the story eases them into sleep, without startling them awake. She finishes, kissing their foreheads, and they settle deeper into their furs. You realize these rituals aren't just for tonight. They're building habits, teaching the children how to find peace in the longhouse's rhythm. Night after night. As the children quiet, the longhouse grows softer. The fires crackle more pronounced. You lie back on your mat, imagining what it was like to grow up here, learning these routines from your family. The mother's lullaby lingers in your mind, its melody blending with the dreamcatcher's sway above. You feel the village's heartbeat slowing, the children's routines a gentle wave, carrying everyone toward sleep.
A special levels how trains there allows times in the mastery, in their first era Nico.
The firelight dims, and you're ready for the next step in this intricate dance of rest.
You're nestled on your corn husk mat, the longhouse's firelight casting a soft, flickering glow across the bark walls. The herbal tea's warmth lingers in your chest, and the children nearby are tucked into their furs, their mother's lullaby fading into the quiet. The dreamcatcher above sways gently, and the air carries the mingled scents of sweetgrass and wood smoke. As the village settles deeper into the night, you notice a new rhythm emerging outside the longhouse. A soft footfall, a faint rustle in the dark. These are the night sentinels, the watchers of the Iroquois village, patrolling silently to ensure everyone sleeps in safety. You feel a pull to understand their role in this bedtime ritual. You slip to the low doorway, peering out into the moonlit clearing. The air is crisp, the forest a dark silhouette against the starry sky. You spot a figure moving along the village's edge, his form barely visible. A man, maybe in his 30s, carrying a bow and a small bundle of arrows. His steps are deliberate, silent, as if he's part of the night itself. You learn from a whispered conversation inside that these sentinels, often warriors or trusted hunters, take turns guarding the village. Their job is to watch for danger, wild animals, rival scouts, or even restless spirits, while the longhouses sleep. You feel a quiet gratitude for their presence, knowing they're keeping the night at bay. You step outside, your moccasins brushing the cool earth, and follow at a distance, curious, but careful not to disturb. The sentinel pauses near a cluster of longhouses, his eyes scanning the tree line. You notice he moves with a rhythm, circling the village in a pattern that must be as old as the Haudenosaunee themselves. He stops to check a wooden palisade, its sharpened logs a barrier against intruders. You realize this isn't just about physical safety, it's spiritual too. The Iroquois believe the night holds unseen forces, and the sentinel's vigilance ensures the village rests under a protective shield. You probably wouldn't survive a night on watch, straining to hear every snap of a twig, but he makes it look effortless, his calm focus reassuring. You catch a glimpse of another sentinel across the clearing, their silhouettes crossing under the moon. They don't speak, but you sense a quiet coordination, a shared understanding. One carries a small pouch, maybe filled with tobacco or sage, to offer to the spirits if needed. You learn that these offerings are part of the ritual, sprinkling herbs or whispering thanks to keep the night peaceful. The sentinel near you pauses, kneeling to touch the ground, as if listening to the earth itself. You're struck by the reverence, how even this practical task is woven with spiritual care.
The village feels safer, knowing these watchers are out here, their quiet steps a lullaby of protection. Back inside the longhouse, you hear the firekeeper stir the embers, her movements syncing with the sentinel's unseen patrol. The two rituals feel connected. The fire within, the watchers without, both guarding the village's rest. You settle back onto your mat, imagining the sentinels circling through the night. Their presence lets you relax, your breath slowing to match the longhouse's rhythm. You learn that the sentinels don't just watch, they listen to the owls, the wind, the forest's pulse, reading signs of calm or unrest. A quiet night, like tonight, means good dreams, they say, and you feel that promise settling over you. You picture the sentinel's path, weaving between longhouses, past cornfields, along the stream that glints under the moon. His bow is ready but not drawn, a symbol of readiness rather than fear. You realize this ritual is as much for the village's peace of mind as for its safety. Knowing someone's out there, watching, lets the families inside surrender to sleep. You try to imagine staying awake all night, your eyes heavy but forced open, and you're glad it's not your job. The sentinel's quiet strength is enough. Their steps a silent promise that the village can dream without worry. As you lie back, the longhouse feels even cozier. The fires glow a steady heartbeat. The dreamcatcher above catches a flicker of light, and you hear a distant owl hoot, answered by the sentinel's soft whistle. It's a signal, you guess, that all is well. The village is a living thing, protected by these unseen guardians, and you feel yourself sinking deeper into your furs, ready for the next ritual to carry you towards sleep.
You're back on your corn husk mat, the longhouse's firelight casting soft shadows that dance across the dreamcatcher above. The herbal tea's warmth lingers, and the faint echo of the sentinel's footsteps outside blends with the firekeeper's quiet tending of the hearth. The air is thick with wood smoke and the gentle scent of sweetgrass, and the village feels cocooned in the night's calm. As you settle deeper into your furs, you notice a new layer to the Iroquois bedtime rituals unfolding in your mind's eye: the role of animal totems and their connection to dreams. You sense this is no small thing. Here, animals aren't just creatures. They're spiritual guides, shaping the dream world you're about to enter. You recall the elder's story from earlier, how animals like the turtle and muskrat helped create the world. Now, lying here, you learn from a soft conversation nearby that each person in the village has a totem, an animal spirit tied to their clan or personal journey. Yours, let's say, is the owl, a symbol of wisdom and night vision. You picture it perched in the pines outside, its eyes glinting like the stars through the smoke hole. The Iroquois believe these totems follow you into dreams, offering guidance or warnings. You feel a flicker of awe, imagining an owl gliding through your sleep, whispering secrets. You probably wouldn't survive interpreting those messages without help, but the thought is comforting, like a friend watching over you. You notice a woman nearby adjusting her son's blanket, pointing to a small carved wolf tucked beside him. She whispers that the wolf is his totem, a protector in dreams, teaching courage. You learn that children are introduced to their totems early, often through stories or small rituals like carving a figure or wearing a bead shaped like their animal. The boy clutches his wolf, his face calm, and you realize this ritual gives dreams a purpose. Every night is a chance to connect with your totem, to listen to its voice. You try to imagine your owl, its wings silent, guiding you through a dream forest. And it feels like a story you're already half dreaming. The longhouse is filled with these totems, not always visible, but present in the minds of those settling in. A man across the way wears a pendant shaped like a bear, its outline catching the firelight. You learn that totems are often tied to clans: wolf, bear, turtle, and others, each carrying traits the Iroquois value. The Bear Clan, for instance, is known for strength and healing, and you picture their dreams filled with lumbering bears guarding their sleep. You're told that, before bed, some whisper thanks to their totem, asking for clear dreams. You try it, murmuring to your owl under your breath, and it feels strange but right, like speaking to the night itself. You notice an elder nearby, her hands tracing the outline of a hawk etched into a small wooden tablet. She's preparing for sleep, her lips moving silently, perhaps asking her totem for insight. You learn that dreams aren't just personal. They're shared at dawn, especially if a totem appears. A dream of your owl might mean wisdom is needed, or a journey is coming. The Iroquois see dreams as conversations, and totems are the translators, turning symbols into meaning. You're fascinated by this, how every sleeper carries their animal into the night, weaving a spiritual thread through the village. As you lie back, the dreamcatcher above seems to hum with this belief. Its feathers, maybe from an owl, like yours. You imagine your totem waiting in the dream world,
ready to guide you through forests or starlit skies. The longhouse is quiet. Soft breaths, the fire's faint crackle, feels alive with these unseen spirits. You learn that some nights, families offer a pinch of tobacco to their totems, burned in the fire as thanks. You don't have tobacco, but you mimic the gesture in your mind, picturing your owl soaring above the village, its eyes on you. The ritual feels intimate, tying you to something larger, the forest, the spirits, the people around you. You realize the Iroquois don't just sleep, they journey, their totems leading the way. Your mat feels softer now, the furs warmer, as you let this idea settle. The longhouse is a chorus of dreamers, each with their own animal guide, and you're part of it, your owl waiting to carry you into the night. As your eyes grow heavy, the fire's glow fades, and you feel ready for whatever dreams your totem brings.
You're nestled on your corn husk mat, the longhouse's firelight a soft glow. The dreamcatcher above, swaying with the faint draft from the smoke hole. The scent of sweetgrass and wood smoke wraps around you. And the village outside is a quiet hum of night sounds. Crickets, an owl's distant call. Your mind lingers on the owl, your imagined totem, its wings guiding you toward dreams. As the longhouse settles, you notice a new ritual stirring. Warming the longhouse, a practical yet soothing task to keep the night's chill at bay. You watch a man near the hearth, his movements steady as he stokes the fire, ensuring the village sleeps in cozy comfort. You sit up slightly, drawn to the firekeeper's work, now shared by others as bedtime years. The man, maybe an uncle or father, adds a small log to the hearth. Not too much, just enough to keep the embers alive. You learn that warming the longhouse is a delicate balance. Too much fire, and the air turns stifling. Too little, and the autumn chill creeps in. He uses a long stick to shift the logs, sparks rising like tiny stars toward the smoke hole. The fire's crackle is a steady rhythm, blending with the soft breathing of those around you, and you feel its warmth on your face, a gentle embrace. You notice others joining in, each family tending their section of the longhouse. A woman near you adjusts a hide curtain near her platform, trapping the heat closer to her sleeping space. She explains in a whisper that the Iroquois designed their longhouses to hold warmth, with thick bark walls and layered furs. You're impressed by the engineering. Elm bark layered like shingles, poles lashed tight to keep out drafts. You try to imagine building one yourself, hauling logs and weaving bark, and you know you'd probably collapse before it was half done. Their skill makes it look effortless, a ritual born of necessity and care. You watch the man sprinkle a handful of cedar chips into the fire, the scent sharp and cleansing, mixing with the wood smoke. This isn't just practical, it's spiritual, like the sage burned earlier, a way to purify the air and invite good spirits. You learn that the Iroquois see fire as a living thing, a gift from the Creator, and tending it is a kind of prayer. He murmurs something as he works, maybe thanks or a request for warmth through the night. You feel the reverence in his actions, how each log is placed with intention, keeping the longhouse a haven for dreams. As you settle back, you notice the platforms around you, each family tucked into their furs, the fire's glow reaching just far enough to warm them. A child nearby pulls a blanket tighter, her face relaxed in the heat's embrace. You realize this ritual is communal. Everyone benefits from the fire, but everyone helps maintain it. Some families bank their section of the hearth with ashes, slowing the burn for the long night ahead. You try mimicking this on a small scale, nudging a bit of ash with a stick near your platform, and it feels satisfying, like you're contributing to the village's rest. The firekeeper, still at her post, nods at the man's work, her own hands busy with a clay pot of embers. You learn that she'll stay up later than most, ensuring the fire doesn't die. Her role ties this ritual together, a steady presence while others sleep. You picture the longhouse as a living thing, its warmth pulsing like a heartbeat, and you feel safer knowing it's tended with such care. The air grows heavier, the fire's light softer, and you sink deeper into your furs, the mat crinkling faintly beneath you. You glance up at the smoke hole, where stars peek through, and feel the longhouse's warmth envelop you. The ritual of warming the space isn't just about heat, it's about creating a sanctuary, a place where dreams can unfold without the night's bite.
You imagine the sentinels outside, their patrols syncing with the fire's rhythm, guarding the village while the hearth guards its heart. Your eyelids grow heavy, the fires crackle a lullaby, and you're ready for the next step in this gentle journey toward sleep.
You're nestled on your corn husk mat, the longhouse's fire casting a gentle glow, its warmth wrapping around you like a soft embrace. The dreamcatcher above sways faintly, and the scent of cedar and wood smoke lingers, mingling with the quiet breaths of those around you. The firekeeper's steady work keeps the hearth alive, and the sentinel's silent steps outside guard the village. As the night deepens, you notice a new ritual unfolding. Family bonding before sleep. A tender moment where kin share quiet words and gestures, strengthening ties as they prepare for dreams. You watch a family nearby, their closeness a soothing thread in the longhouse's rhythm. You focus on a small group, a mother, father, and their teenage daughter, huddled on their platform, their voices low and warm. The mother passes a wooden bowl of dried berries, each taking a small handful, nibbling slowly. It's not a full meal, just a shared snack, a ritual to mark the day's end. The father speaks softly, recounting a moment from the day, maybe a good hunt or a funny mishap in the cornfields, and the daughter laughs, her shoulders relaxing. You feel the intimacy of it, how these moments weave the family tighter, like the sinew in your dreamcatcher. You try to imagine joining in, but you'd probably spill the berries. You wouldn't survive their easy grace. The mother brushes her daughter's hair, not for practicality now, but for comfort, her hands gentle. You learn this is common, a way to soothe and connect before sleep. The Iroquois value family above all, and these quiet exchanges, stories, laughter, small touches, are how they end the day. You notice the daughter lean into her mother's touch, her eyes half closed, and you realize this ritual is as much about rest as it is about love. It's a pause, a chance to share the day's weight before letting it go. You feel a pang of warmth, wishing you could capture that same closeness in your own life.
Across the longhouse, other families mirror this. An older couple shares a woven blanket, their hands brushing as they adjust it. A brother and sister whisper about tomorrow's chores, their voices a soft hum. You learn that these moments aren't planned. They're instinctual, woven into the Iroquois way of life. The longhouse itself fosters this, its shared space making privacy rare but connection constant. You picture yourself sitting with them, passing berries, sharing a quiet joke, and it feels like home, even if just for tonight. The fire's glow softens their faces, and you see the trust in their eyes, the ease of being together. You hear the father tell his daughter about her grandmother, how she used to sing to the stars before bed. It's a small story, but it carries weight, linking the girl to her ancestors. You realize these bedtime talks aren't just chatter. They're a way to pass down values, to keep the family's story alive. The Iroquois don't write their histories, they live them, in moments like this. You're struck by how every laugh, every shared berry, is a thread in a larger tapestry, tying the living to the past. You try to imagine remembering your own family stories with such clarity, and it's humbling. You'd probably forget half the details. As the family settles, the mother hums a tune, the same lullaby you heard earlier, and the daughter joins in, her voice sleepy but sure. The father pulls their furs higher, tucking them in, and you feel the longhouse's rhythm slow further. These moments aren't loud or grand, they're small, deliberate, like the firekeeper's careful stoking of the hearth. You notice other families quieting too, their platforms a patchwork of shared warmth. A child across the way curls against her mother. A grandfather murmurs a final word to his son, and the longhouse feels like one big family, bound by these fleeting, precious exchanges. You lie back, your mat crinkling softly, and imagine your own family here, sharing stories under the firelight. The ritual of bonding feels like a gift, a way to anchor yourself before drifting into dreams. The fires crackle, the faint hum of voices, the weight of your furs. It all pulls you closer to sleep. You realize the Iroquois don't just go to bed. They weave themselves together, night after night, making the longhouse a haven of trust and rest. Your eyes grow heavy, the dreamcatcher above a quiet guardian, ready for the next step in this gentle journey. You're nestled on your cornhusk mat, the longhouse's firelight a soft glow, the furs around you warm and snug. The scent of cedar and wood smoke lingers, blending with the quiet breaths of families settling into their platforms. The dreamcatcher above sways gently, and the faint echo of shared laughter from family bonding moments still hums in the air. Outside, the sentinel's silent steps guard the village, and the firekeeper's hearth holds the night's chill at bay. Now, as the longhouse grows quieter, you feel a pull to look upward, through the smoke hole, where the stars glitter in the indigo sky. This is the stargazing ritual, a soothing practice where the Iroquois connect to their cosmology before sleep. You shift on your mat, craning your neck to catch the star's faint twinkle through the smoke hole. The air is cool up there, but the fire's warmth keeps you grounded. You imagine stepping outside, joining a few villagers who've slipped into the clearing to gaze upward. The night is clear, the sky a vast canvas of light, and you feel small, but part of something immense. You learn from a soft whisper nearby that the Iroquois see the stars as stories, ancestors, or spirits watching over them. Each constellation has a name, a tale, like the Great Bear, which they call the Celestial Bear, guiding hunters through the night. You picture it, its starry paws tracing a path across the sky, and it feels like a lullaby in light. You're told that stargazing isn't just for wonder, it's a ritual to align the spirit with the cosmos before dreams. The Iroquois believe the stars influence sleep, carrying messages from the creator or ancestors. A bright star might mean good fortune, a dim one, a call for reflection. You tried to imagine reading the sky like they do, but you'd probably get lost in the patterns. You wouldn't survive their knack for seeing stories in the stars. Instead, you let the sight wash over you, the pinpoints of light steady and calm, like the fire below. A woman nearby points out a cluster, murmuring its name in Mohawk, and you feel the weight of her words, even if you don't understand them. You notice a man outside, standing alone, his face tilted upward. He's not just looking, he's praying. His lips moving silently, hands cupped as if catching starlight. You learn this is common, a quiet thanks to the stars for guidance, for keeping the night safe. Some sprinkle tobacco into a small fire as an offering, the smoke curling upward like a prayer. You imagine doing it, tossing a pinch into the flames, and it feels right, like speaking to the sky itself. The ritual is simple but profound, tying the village to the universe, making sleep a cosmic act. You feel the longhouse's rhythm sync with the stars, a slow pulse of connection. Back on your mat, you keep your eyes on the smoke hole, the stars framed like a window to eternity. You hear a soft chant from someone nearby, a song to the night sky, its melody low and soothing. It's not loud, just enough to blend with the fire's crackle and the rustle of furs. You learn that children are taught the stars' names early, often pointing them out before bed, learning their place in the Haudenosaunee world. You picture a child outside, her finger tracing the celestial bear, her mother whispering its story. It's a teaching moment, but also a lullaby, easing the village into rest. The stars feel closer now, their light filtering through the smoke hole, touching your platform. You realize this ritual isn't about staying awake. It's about surrender, letting the sky's vastness cradle you. The Iroquois don't fear the night. They embrace it, seeing themselves as part of its story. You try to pick out a constellation, maybe your owl totem's starry echo, and it's mesmerizing. The way the light seems to pulse with the longhouse's breath. The air grows heavier, the fire softer, and you feel the village settling. The stars a quiet promise above. You lie back, your furs warm, the mat crinkling faintly. The stargazing ritual feels like a bridge to dreams, a way to carry the sky's calm into sleep. You imagine the celestial bear watching over you, its light guiding your owl through the dream world. The longhouse is a haven, its people bound to the stars, and you're part of it, ready for the night's final ritual to carry you into slumber.
You're lying on your corn husk mat, the longhouse's firelight a fading glow, its warmth a gentle cocoon around you. The dreamcatcher above sways faintly, and the stars you glimpse through the smoke hole linger in your mind, their light a quiet promise. The air carries the scent of cedar and wood smoke, mingling with the soft breaths of families settled into their furs. The sentinel's distant steps and the firekeeper's steady tending keep the village safe, and the memory of family stories and starlit chants hums in the background. Now, as the night deepens, you feel a new ritual enveloping you, the silence of the forest, its hushed embrace wrapping the village in a final lullaby before sleep. You close your eyes, letting the sounds of the longhouse fade, and focus on the world outside. The forest's presence is palpable, even through the thick bark walls. A soft chorus of rustling leaves, the faint trickle of a nearby stream, the occasional hoot of an owl. It's not silence, in the way you might think. It's alive. A gentle hum that feels like the earth breathing. You learn from a whispered tale earlier that the Iroquois see the forest as a partner. Its sounds a sacred part of their bedtime rituals. The trees, the wind, the creatures, they all join the village in settling down, their quiet voices a signal to rest. You imagine stepping outside, just for a moment, to feel the forest's hush more closely. The air would be cool, the ground soft under your moccasins, the pines looming like sentinels of their own. You picture the moonlight filtering through the branches, casting dappled shadows on the path between longhouses. The forest isn't empty, it's full, but its sounds are deliberate, never jarring. A cricket's chirp, a twig snap, the wind's sigh. They blend into a symphony that soothes rather than startles. You try to imagine living without this, surrounded by modern noise, and you know you'd probably struggle to find such peace. You wouldn't survive without this natural lullaby. Back on your mat, you notice how the longhouse amplifies the forest's silence.
Late spatio, late statio, late sperry, late story.
The bark walls don't block it, they filter it, letting just enough sound through to feel comforting. You hear a distant wolf howl, low and mournful, and it doesn't scare you, it feels like part of the night's rhythm. You learn that the Iroquois listen to these sounds intentionally before sleep, believing they carry messages from the spirits or the land itself. An owl's call might mean wisdom, a stream's murmur, clarity. You try listening harder, picking out the layers, a frog's croak, a breeze in the pines, and it's like a meditation, pulling you deeper into calm. You notice the longhouse growing quieter, the fire's crackle softer now, as if it's bowing to the forest's hush. Families are fully settled, their platforms a patchwork of furs and steady breaths. You realize this ritual isn't active like the others. It's about surrender, letting the forest's silence wash over you like a blanket. The Iroquois don't fight the night, they lean into it, trusting its sounds to guard their dreams. You feel that trust now, the way the longhouse seems to breathe with the trees, its walls an extension of the forest itself. You imagine the sentinels outside, their steps blending with the forest's rhythm, listening as much as watching. They know these sounds, the rustle of a deer,
the flutter of a bat, and can tell when something's amiss. You're grateful for their vigilance, letting you sink into the silence without worry. The dreamcatcher above catches a faint draft, its feathers trembling, and you feel it's part of this too, weaving the forest's hush into your sleep. You try to stay alert to catalog every sound, but it's too soothing, like a tide pulling you under. The forest's silence feels alive now, a presence as real as the fire or the firs. You learn that some Iroquois whisper thanks to the land before sleep, acknowledging its role in their rest. You murmur your own thanks, silent in your mind, and it feels right, like a nod to the pines and streams outside. The longhouse is a haven, but the forest is its partner, cradling the village in its quiet embrace. Your mat feels softer, your breath slower, and you're ready for the final ritual to carry you into dreams.
You're nestled deep in your corn husk mat, the longhouse's fire a mere whisper of embers now, its faint glow barely touching the bark walls. The dreamcatcher above sways in the soft draft, and the forest hush outside, crickets, a distant stream, the sigh of pines blends with the steady breaths of families around you. The scents of cedar, sweetgrass, and wood smoke linger, grounding you in this warm, communal space. The sentinels patrol silently, the firekeeper tends her final embers, and the rituals of storytelling, tea, and stargazing have woven a tapestry of calm. Now, as the night reaches its deepest point, you feel the final ritual, a farewell to the night, where the village settles fully into dreams. You lie still, your furs heavy and warm, the mat crinkling faintly as you shift. The longhouse is a cocoon, its rhythm slowed to a heartbeat. You notice the last murmurs fading, parents tucking in children, an elder's soft hum, a final rustle of blankets. The village is letting go, surrendering to the dream world the Iroquois holds sacred. You imagine yourself drifting with them, your owl totem waiting to guide you through starry forests. This ritual isn't marked by action, but by release, a collective exhale as the village crosses into sleep. You feel it pulling you, gentle but insistent like a tide. You recall the elders' words from earlier, how dreams are a journey, a place to meet ancestors or spirits. The Iroquois believe this moment when wakefulness fades is sacred, a threshold to cross with care. You picture the longhouse as a great ship, its people passengers drifting into the dream world together. The fire's faint crackle, the forest hush, the dreamcatcher sway. They're all part of this farewell, signals that it's time to let go. You try to hold on to the moment, to stay aware, but it's hard. You probably wouldn't survive keeping your eyes open now, not with the night's calm so heavy around you. You notice a woman nearby, her hands folded over her chest, whispering a final prayer to the Creator, thanking the spirits for the day and asking for good dreams. It's a quiet act, personal, yet shared. And you see others doing the same, their lips moving silently. You learn this is common, a last offering of gratitude before sleep, tying the village to the unseen. You try it, murmuring thanks in your mind for the warmth, the stories, the forest's hush. It feels right, like sealing the night with a promise. The longhouse grows quieter, the air thicker, as if the village itself is breathing slower, ready to dream. You imagine the dreams waiting for you, maybe your owl soaring over a moonlit valley, or the celestial bear guiding you through a starry sky. The Iroquois believe these dreams carry meaning, and you wonder what yours will say. The longhouse feels alive with this belief, each sleeper a thread in a shared tapestry of visions. You picture the children dreaming of rabbits, the elders of ancestors, the warriors of hunts yet to come. The dreamcatcher above feels like a guardian, its web ready to catch any stray nightmares, letting only wisdom through. The firekeeper makes one last adjustment, banking the embers with ash to keep them alive till dawn. Her movements are slow, deliberate, a final note in the night's symphony. You hear a distant owl, maybe your totem, its call blending with the forest's hush. The longhouse is still now, save for the softest sounds. A child's sleepy murmur, a fur's rustle, the wind outside. You feel the village settling, its rituals complete, its people ready to journey into dreams. Your mat is a cradle, the furs a warm embrace, and you let your eyes close, the night's farewell wrapping around you. As you drift,
The longhouse feels like a single breath, shared by all. The rituals, fire, stories, tea, stories, stars, silence, have built this moment. A gentle hand guiding you to sleep. You imagine the village dreaming as one, its stories and spirits alive in the night. Your owl waits, its wings soft, and you surrender, ready for whatever the dream world brings.
You're floating now, your cornhusk mat a gentle raft in the longhouse's quiet sea. The fire's embers glow faintly, the dreamcatcher above a silent guardian. The forest hush, crickets, wind, a distant owl, cradles the village, and the rituals of the night have woven a blanket of calm. You feel the Iroquois world around you, its heartbeat slow and steady, carrying you into dreams. The stars through the smoke hole wink, the celestial bear watching over you, your owl totem ready to guide. Let the day slip away, its weight gone, as you sink deeper into your furs. Imagine the longhouse breathing with you, its families dreaming together, their stories and spirits mingling in the night. The firekeeper's embers, the sentinel's steps, the forest's hush, they're all here, holding you safe. Your breath slows, matching the village's rhythm. Each inhale a step closer to sleep. Picture the pines outside, their branches swaying, the stream murmuring its lullaby. You're part of this world, connected to its cycles, its calm. The dreamcatcher filters your dreams, letting only peace through, its feathers soft as a whisper. Feel your body relax, your shoulders loosen, your mind drift. The Iroquois knew sleep as a journey, a gift, and you're on that path now. Let the night carry you, its rituals a gentle tide. Your owl soars ahead, its wings silent, leading you to a place of rest. The longhouse fades, the stars blur, and you're ready to dream, wrapped in the village's embrace. Sleep well, traveler, and let the night hold you close.